Second half of chapter 15. A few minutes later, we were sitting at a booth in a diner. The waitress came over. She raised her eyebrow. "Well?" I said, "We, want to order dinner." "You kids have money to pay for it?" Grover looked like he was about to cry. Annabeth looked ready to pass out from hunger. Suddenly, a rumble shook the building and a motorcycle parked outside. Everyone in the diner stopped talking. The guy on the bike had more muscles than a pro wrestler. He was dressed in a red muscle shirt and black jeans, with a hunting knife strapped to his thigh. He wore red sunglasses, and he had cheeks that were scarred from many, many fights. The weird thing was, I felt like I'd seen his face somewhere before. As he walked into the diner, a hot, dry wind blew through the place. All the people stood up as if they were hypnotized, but the biker waved his hand and they all sat down again. Everybody went back to their conversations. The waitress blinked, as if she had just woken up. She asked us again, "You kids have money to pay for it?" The biker said, "I do." He sat down next to Annabeth, who smushed herself against the window. The biker looked at me. I couldn't see his eyes behind the red sunglasses, but I started to feel bad feelings. Anger, resentment, bitterness. I wanted to hit a wall. I wanted to pick a fight with somebody. Who did this guy think he was? He gave me a wicked grin. "So you're old seaweeds, kid, huh?" I should have been surprised or scared, but instead I felt like I wanted to rip this guy's head off. "Why do you care?" I asked him. Annabeth tried to stop me. "Percy, this is—" The biker raised his hand. "It's okay," he said. "I don't mind a little attitude. Long as you remember who's the boss. You know who I am, little cousin?" Then I realized that this guy had the same mean expression as some of the kids at Camp Half-Blood, the ones from Cabin 5. "You're Clarice's dad," I said. "Ares, god of war." Ares grinned and took off his shades. Where his eyes should have been, there was only fire. "That's right, punk. I heard you broke Clarice's spear." "She was asking for it." "Probably. That's cool. I don't fight my kids' fights, you know. What I'm here for is something different." The waitress came back with trays of cheeseburgers, fries, onion rings, and chocolate shakes. "I need you to do me a favor," said Ares. "What favor could I do for a god?" I asked, biting into a cheeseburger. "Something a god doesn't have time to do himself. It's nothing much. I left my shield at an abandoned water park here in town. I was going on a little date with my girlfriend. We were interrupted. I left my shield behind. I want you to get it for me." "Why don't you go back and get it yourself?" I asked. "Why don't I turn you into a prairie dog and run you over with my motorcycle?" Ares sneered. "I don't feel like getting my shield. A god is giving you an opportunity to prove yourself, Percy Jackson. Will you prove yourself a coward?" I wanted to punch this guy, but somehow I knew Ares was trying to make me mad. I didn't want to let him control my feelings. "We're not interested in helping you get your shield," I said. "We've already got a quest." "I know all about your quest, punk," Ares said. "When Zeus's master bolt was first stolen, Zeus sent his best gods out looking for it. Apollo, Athena, Artemis, and me. If I couldn't find a weapon that powerful, well, how could you find it? Still, I'm giving you a chance to prove yourself. Your dad and I are old friends. After all, I'm the one who told your dad Hades stole the bolt." "You told my dad that Hades stole the bolt? Did you even see Hades steal it?" "Of course not. I told Poseidon that Hades stole it so that I could start a war between the big three. I love wars, obviously. So you should thank me, Percy, that you have this little quest." "Just do my little job," said Ares, "and I'll help you on your way. I'll arrange a ride west for you and your friends. Right now, you have no money, no way to get to Los Angeles, and not much information. You help me, and maybe I'll tell you something you need to know. Something about your mom." "My mom? Ha! That got your attention. The water park where I left my shield is on Delancey Street. You can't miss it. Look for the Tunnel of Love ride." "What interrupted your date with your girlfriend?" I asked. "Did something scare you off?" Ares showed his teeth, but it looked like he was nervous. "You're lucky you met me, punk," he said, "and not one of the other Olympian gods. They'd knock you out for being rude. I'll meet you back here when you're done. Don't disappoint me." After that, I must have been hypnotized, because when I opened my eyes again, Ares was gone. "Not good," Grover said. "Ares found you for a reason, Percy. It can't be a good reason." Did Ares really know something about my mom, or was he just playing with me? Now that he was gone, all the anger had drained out of me. I realized Ares must enjoy messing with people's emotions. He had made me agree to do this favor by mentioning my mom. That was his power, controlling your feelings so that you couldn't think right. Going to get Ares' shield in an empty water park is probably some kind of trick, I said. "Forget Ares. Let's just go." "We can't forget it," Annabeth said. "Look, I hate Ares, but you can't ignore the gods unless you want serious bad luck. Ares wasn't joking about turning you into a prairie dog." "Why does Ares need us?" I asked. "He's a god." "Maybe he has a problem that requires brains," Annabeth said. "Ares has strength, but he's not smart." "But this water park, Ares acted nervous about it. What would make a war god run away like that?" Annabeth said, "I'm afraid we'll have to find out." At the water park, the gate was locked and topped with barbed wire. Inside, huge, dry water slides curved into empty pools. Old tickets fluttered around. With night coming on, the place looked sad and creepy. "If Ares brings his girlfriend here for a date," I said, staring up at the barbed wire, "I'd hate to see what she looks like." "Percy," Annabeth warned, "be more respectful. Ares' girlfriend gets angry easily." "You don't want to insult her looks," Grover added. "Ares' girlfriend is Aphrodite, the goddess of love." "Maya," he said. He flew over the fence in his flying shoes. Annabeth and I had to climb the fence, holding down the barbed wire for each other. The sky grew darker as we walked through the park. We found a souvenir shop that had been left open. We took some supplies and changed into some new clothes. Then we began looking for the Tunnel of Love ride, where Ares said he left his No monsters came to get us. Nothing made a noise. "So Ares and Aphrodite are dating," I said, to keep my mind off the darkness. "For the last 3,000 years, Percy. That's nothing new," Annabeth replied. "What about Aphrodite's husband, the god Hephaestus?" "Well," Annabeth said, "Hephaestus is a blacksmith. He's intelligent and clever with his hands, but he isn't exactly handsome. He was crippled when he was a baby, thrown off Mount Olympus by Zeus. Aphrodite isn't interested in someone who's not handsome. She's more interested in, war gods?" I asked. "Whatever," Annabeth said. "Does Hephaestus know his wife Aphrodite is cheating on him with Ares?" "Oh, sure he knows," Annabeth said. "Hephaestus even caught Aphrodite and Ares together once. I mean, literally caught them in a golden net and invited all the gods to come and laugh at them. Hephaestus is always trying to embarrass Aphrodite and Ares. That's why they meet in secret places, like..." She stopped and pointed. "Like that." In front of us was a sign that said, "Tunnel of Love Thrill Ride." There was an empty pool as big as half a football field and shaped like a bowl. Cupid statues were all around the edge, holding bows with arrows. On the other end was a tunnel, probably where the boat was supposed to go when the pool was full. Grover looked down. Guys, look, there's the boat. At the bottom of the dry pool was a pink boat with red hearts painted all over it. On the seat was Ares' shield, a shiny circle of bronze. This is too easy, I said. So we just walk down there and get the shield? Annabeth looked at the nearest Cupid statue. There's a Greek letter carved here, she said. Ada. I wonder what it means. Grover, I said, you smell any monsters? He sniffed the wind. Nothing. I took a deep breath. I'm going down there. I'll go with you. Grover didn't sound very confident. No, I told him. I want you to stay up top with the flying shoes. I'll be counting on you for backup, in case something goes wrong. Grover puffed up his chest a little. Sure, but what could go wrong? I don't know. I just have a feeling. Annabeth, come with me. Are you kidding? Me go with you to the thrill ride of love? What if somebody saw me with you? No one's here, I told her. But fine then, I'll get the shield myself. But when I started down the side of the pool, she followed me, grumbling. We reached the boat. The shield was on one side, and next to it was a lady's silk scarf that must have been Aphrodite's. I picked up the scarf. It shimmered pink, and the perfume smelled like flowers. I smiled and was about to rub the scarf against my cheek when Annabeth ripped it out of my hand and stuffed it in her pocket. Oh, no, you don't. Stay away from that love magic. Just get the shield, seaweed brain, and let's get out of here. The moment I touched the shield, I knew we were in trouble. My hand went through something. It felt like an old spider's web, but then I looked at a piece of it on my hand. It was not a spider's web. It was a wire. Wait, Annabeth said. Too late, I said. There's another Greek letter on the side of the boat, another Ada. This is a trap. The noise of a million gears grinding erupted all around us, as if the whole pool were turning into one giant machine. Grover yelled, Guys! Up on the edges of the pool, the Cupid statues shot their arrows, but not at us. They fired across to the other side of the pool. Wires attached to the arrows stretched over the pool from one side to the other. Magically, smaller wires appeared and started to weave together, making a giant net over the pool. We have to get out, I said. Duh, Annabeth said. I grabbed the shield and we ran, but going up the steep side of the pool was not easy. Come on, Grover shouted. He was trying to hold open a section of the net for us, but wherever he touched it, the golden threads started to wrap around his hands. The Cupids' heads popped open. Out came video cameras. Spotlights rose up all around the pool, blinding us, and a loudspeaker boomed. Broadcasting video live to Mount Olympus in 1 minute. 59 seconds, 58. Hephaestus did this, Annabeth screamed. I'm so stupid. Ada is the first letter of his name in Greek. He made this trap to catch his wife, Aphrodite, with Ares. Now we're going to be broadcast live to Olympus and look like absolute fools. We'd almost made it to the rim when the row of mirrors opened up and thousands of robot spiders poured out. Spiders! Annabeth said. I'd never seen her like this before. She fell backward in terror and almost got covered in spider robots before I pulled her up and dragged her back toward the boat. Millions of the spiders flooded toward the center of the pool, completely surrounding us. I didn't know if they were supposed to scare us or hurt us. Annabeth and I climbed into the boat. I started kicking away the spiders and yelled at Annabeth to help me, but she was too scared and only sat there screaming. 30, 29, called the loudspeaker. The spiders started spitting out metal thread, trying to tie us down. The strands were easy to break at first, but there were so many of them, and the spiders just kept coming. I kicked one away from Annabeth's leg, and its pincers bit a chunk out of my shoe. Grover flew above the pool in his flying sneakers, trying to pull the net loose, but it wouldn't move. Think, I told myself, think. The tunnel of love entrance was at the other end of the pool. We could use it as an exit, except that it was blocked by spiders, and there was no water to move the boat. 15, 14, the loudspeaker called. Water, I thought. Where does the ride's water come from? Then I saw them, huge water pipes behind the mirrors where the spiders had come from. I closed my eyes and thought about waves, rushing water, the Mississippi River. I felt a familiar tug in my stomach. I tried to imagine that I was dragging the ocean all the way to Denver. 2, 1, 0. Water exploded out of the pipes. It roared into the pool, sweeping away the spiders. I pulled Annabeth into the seat next to me and fastened her seat belt just as the wave of water slammed into our boat. The boat turned, lifted, and spun in circles. The water was full of spiders, but since they were powered by electricity, they stopped working after they got wet. Meanwhile, the Cupid cameras were sending a video of us, live to Olympus. But I could only concentrate on controlling the boat. I got the boat's nose turned toward the tunnel, and we rocketed through into the darkness. Annabeth and I held tight, both of us screaming as the boat raced through the tunnel, around corners, past pictures of kissing couples, and a bunch of other Valentine's Day stuff. Then we were out of the tunnel, the night air whistling through our hair as the boat barreled straight toward the exit, the gates of love. But there was one problem. The gates of love were chained shut, and we were going to get smashed to death. "Unfasten your seatbelt!" I yelled to Annabeth. I strapped Aries' shield to my arm. "We're going to have to jump out as soon as the boat hits the gate." With luck, we would land in the pool. Annabeth seemed to understand. She gripped my hand as the gates got closer. "When I say," I said. "No, when I say! I studied physics!" she screamed. "Fine," I shouted. "When you say." She hesitated, then yelled, "Now!" Crack! Annabeth was right. If we'd jumped when I thought we should have, we would have crashed into the gates. She got us out flying high. A little higher than we needed to be. Our boat smashed into the gates, and we were thrown into the air, straight over the gates, over the pool, and down towards solid asphalt. Something grabbed me from behind. Annabeth yelled. "Grover!" In midair, he had grabbed me by the shirt and Annabeth by the arm, and was trying to pull us out of a crash landing. "You're too heavy," Grover said. "We're going down." We smashed into a sign. Annabeth and I tumbled to the ground, banged up, but alive. Aries' shield was still on my arm. Once we caught our breath, Annabeth and I thanked Grover for saving our lives. I looked back at the thrill ride of love. The water was draining out. Our boat had been smashed to pieces against the gates. Back at the entrance pool, the Cupids were still filming. The cameras had turned toward our faces. "Show's over," I yelled. "Thank you. Good night." The Cupids turned back to their original positions. The lights shut off. The park went quiet and dark again. I wondered if Olympus had enjoyed the show. I hated being tricked, and Aries had tricked us. All of Olympus had seen Annabeth and I holding hands on the thrill ride of love. There had to be a way to make Aries pay for his mean trick. I had plenty of experience handling bullies who liked to tease me. I lifted the shield on my arm and turned to my friends. "We need to have a little talk with Aries," I said.